I'm outside our place at Sunninghill before we take the trip, and I must emphasise that the video here is a rough draft. It's basically a photo trail and then video clips, pretty well unedited. Here's Robin's Corner, called that due to mucking around with GPS a few years ago. The birthday present from June, bit of expensive garden furniture. Snoopy's transatlantic robot boat waiting here. A lot of people have seen this before. The car we'll be driving in, my old banger, worth about £200, but we'll put the Satcom's tracker in. I must remember that because I put it on charge. There's a camper, and oh yes, quite important for those who haven't seen it before, warning signs here, particularly where it says beware of water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agents. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Flatulent gnome from Australia. June, Samantha, daughter Samantha, working from home. Already seen this, right? Yeah, my food's practically ready. Yeah, okay. I'll finish this little clip. So I'll probably use this for the wrap up at the end. So. So June and I have decided, after taking a snack, we're off to a place open for the National Garden Scheme charity that we had a chance to look at earlier, and it's most of the way down to Brighton, but after looking at it we decided it was well worth it. A bit over an hour to get down there, and we'll probably take the scenic route back. So let's see. Checked out the rain radar earlier, but then we went to the Met Office site for a bit more detail on weather. The Met Office site shows, as expected, some showers en route down to where we're going, near Brighton. But much more important, the infrared shows lack of cloud cover down as we get further south, so the sun should be coming out. And it shouldn't be too windy. And wind is a bit of a problem for my camera that I'm using, because there's nothing professional. It's a cheap little pocket camera, and it suffers from wind noise. The position we found was there, but according to June, she looked a bit more detail, and it looks as though it might be that back up there, or it might be this much grander place here, but we'll see. There'll be NGS signs when we get there. I'm outside our place at Sunninghill before we take the trip, and I must emphasise that the video here is a rough draft. It's basically a photo trail and then video clips, pretty well unedited. Here's Robin's Corner, called that due to mucking around with GPS a few years ago. The birthday present from June, bit of expensive garden furniture. Snoopy's transatlantic robot boat waiting here. A lot of people have seen this before. The car we'll be driving in, my old banger, worth about £200, but we'll put the Satcoms tracker in. I must remember that because I put it on charge. There's a camper, and oh yes, quite important for those who haven't seen it before, warning signs here, particularly where it says beware of water squirters loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Flatulent gnome from Australia. Samantha, daughter Samantha, working from home. Already seen this. Right, yeah, my food's practically ready. Yeah, okay, I'll finish this little clip. So I'll probably use this for the wrap up at the end. So luckily the water squirters are out of repair. Battery's flat, I think, so don't have to worry about those. Garden needs lots of work. I use these videos as a means of advertising for the right sort of help from gardeners or handymen, and there's no lack of work that we need to do in our little garden. So there you are. Won't bother to give you the complete tour, but there's plenty of other videos with that on. Oh yes, telly, chimney, all that sort of stuff. Kiln dried logs, obviously. Right, so that about wraps up this video. So look after yourselves and stay safe. Oh, that looks as though that's charged up the battery well, and that's the spare Spot Satcoms tracker I'm going to put back in the car. one of these SATCOMs trackers, so it works everywhere, including in the middle of the ocean outside of mobile phone coverage, is in the back of Snoopy's robot boat. This is the spare one that I use for any changes, things like firmware, and we typically carry it around in our car, and I better put it in there. And as it happens, the contact page, linked off the front page, has all the obvious things like my visiting card, but if you tap on that or the link, you can actually see where we are at 22 Armitage Court. And that scatter of positions is because the GPS position is drifting around all the time because it's not got a good signal, but pretty well tells anybody roughly where we are. And that's anybody who's interested. So if they zoom out on a more conventional map instead of a satellite image, they can see our route and where we are at any one time down to where we're going, which is near Brighton. An unusual thing to do, which is to let anybody see where you are, can be useful. If we have a problem, they're usually watching tennis. About time I had my lunch now. I must emphasise that I retired years ago, and there's various memorabilia up here, but the important thing is, another means of us tracking ourselves is with a little, this years old, is a little cheap pensioner tracker, and I'm certainly not in the business of selling these, and I'm sure people will find better ones. Its main thing is to know that they exist. I don't know, it was probably 7 or 8 years ago we bought that, £10 or something from China, popped a SIM card in it, it only works on the mobile phone network, and yes, so those who've been given the link can see where we are. If I want to know what the time is.
Now the time is
12:59, so it's coming up to 1 o'clock. Everybody knows I'm about some braces, man. And yes, it has got a little camera in it as well, but the important thing is it's got a hands-free thing. So if I have a problem, I press the panic button and it automatically rings whatever numbers are in it. So it's typically used for that sort of thing. There are other products around. There's another one from even longer ago. So basically, if somebody has a problem, they press the button, and then they might be a telecare centre or family or both know what the problem is and can help them. That's it, enough talking from me. Let's get ready to go. Right, looks like I'll probably eat and June's going to drive, so a chance to show you the fancy fridge briefly. I'll probably put things in the wrong place, but not to worry. And here we go. I hate new technology just because it's new, but for example here there's a shortcut. This effectively is a smartphone with the website, and then you go to something like the YouTube channel, and what you get there is whatever the last videos we've done with the last one first. So for example, yesterday we had a party on Armitage Court. Don't know whether it'll work, probably not. Can't wait forever. There we go. Yeah, so that's it. Those are very old photographs. And then we go into the party. There's Samantha. That's it. And we're practically ready to go now, I think, aren't we? I'll take that. And June said, yeah, she'll drive. And I'll probably drive back, and we'll probably come back on the scenic route. And so there we are on paper. Better have it the right way up. So it's from home in Sunninghill, down whatever's the fastest route, bit over an hour, down to where we're going. and we'll probably come back the scenic route and I'll probably drive back. So that's it. Not easy to do these in all in one take, is it? holding the necessary stuff. I've put on something a bit more sensible to wear because it gets very hot in the car. My woolly pulley with robins all over it is there. So I'm going to be passenger and June's going to be driving. June's on one of our cameras backing out the drive, and then she'll turn round and I'll join her and get in. So, okay, we're off. We'll be a few hours, Samantha. Okay, see you then. I better not sit on my food, and I better put the safety belt on. June's ready to drive, be a chauffeur. There's the spot tracker. Ah, here's Mr. Parcel Delivery. Maybe more stuff. Right, I'll stop back there, put my safety belt on, and off we go. There was the doors locking. Oh, time to have something to eat.
Take the next right to stay on Armitage Court, then turn right to stay on Armitage Court.
We decided to use a man's
Take the next right to stay on Armitage Court, then turn right onto Bagshot Road.
No idea why it switches between a man's voice and a woman's voice. That's not my software. That was 20 or 30 years ago. Okay, left.
Take the next right onto Bagshot Road, B3020.
Seems okay, left?
Actually, no, I'll go the other way.
Okay, that's a good idea. This is local knowledge. And it's more interesting as well, isn't it? Going through our village. For those people who haven't seen videos.
Just to miss the level crossing. Well, actually, they say to go on the M3.
Yeah. So we're going past a few places. Good friends, the Sunninghill Comrades Club on the left. The La Sorrentina Italian restaurant, the Flame Cafe. My barber's on the right. 3-1. Over the old railway bridge. And the chemist and Chapman's Ironmongers. No, sorry. Oh, too quick. The Jade was the Jade Fountain, where Nick Knowles, giving us some free publicity, was arrested by the police tracking his Lexus Sora.
In 200 yards, turn right onto Kings Road.
Guys who have done work at our place. What I will say about the railway is that June's dad, Jack Ponsford...
Take the next right onto Kings Road.
Basically, his family came into Sunninghill when the railways were built. They were navvies. Right, look okay this way. Seems okay. Left.
Hasn't got a number plate.
Right. Now that Morris School, very few people know that
Continue for 1 mile.
during the war, Sunninghill was a centre of what became NATO, and General Eisenhower's bunker was under what became the Morris Convent and School. And there's lots of other things, but I just got the opportunity to mention that in. And a lot of that sort of information only comes out in recent years, typically put on an American military website as public information. Right, looks there's a bit of traffic here. Okay, that'll do. Enough of me talking. Sunninghill recreation field, and just in there, before all the houses were built, is where a famous actor used to live, Oliver Reed. Amazing guy. very amusing to a lot of us, and an understanding as well. Right, so we're coming up into the...
In 300 yards, turn left onto London Road A30.
That's it, so we're coming up into the middle of Sunninghill. Sorry, Sunningdale. They are adjacent. And June...
Take the next left onto London Road A30, then turn right onto Chobham Road.
And she knows that if she'd have come the other way, we'd have had the level crossing in the way. So we go up here, take a right.
Turn right onto Chobham Road B383.
When June was
Continue on Chobham Road for 1.5 miles.
some famous people in this area, and Sunninghill as well, years ago. Diana Dawes was one, and her husband, Alan Lake. We're just coming into Chobham Common, and again there's lots of historic places in here. The most obvious, if we look at the Chobham Museum information, is Queen Victoria reviewed the troops going off to the, I think it was the Crimea War, and lulled the cavalry. There were thousands, I mean 10,000, and there's a monument to that effect up there. That wasn't the actual spot, that's the other side of the motorway. And allegedly...
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Chertsey Road B386.
Allegedly, some young men years ago did aerial photographs and video of all sorts of places, including there, the monument, but also the tank factory, which again is massively of historic importance, certainly anything military. It's where Chobham armour was developed, but like many other sites, it's been sold off, and I suppose the most famous organisation there is Longcross Film Studios, because Chobham Common on the other side of the motorway has been popular for many things, including filmmaking, going back to things like Superman, and again guys that fly little model airplanes, and that goes right back to I think the 1920s, before.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Longcross Road B386.
So this is where we come up to the roundabout, where essentially we turn right in order to go over the motorway, and on our left is where the tank factory was. Usual thing with signs, all grown over.
Exit the roundabout onto Longcross Road.
And Longcross Road we go past after going over the motorway.
Continue on B386 for 3 miles.
So on the right is the car park where the model flyers visit and people want to explore the common, and the grand house and estate, which it has got footpaths going through, of Longcross House. It's there as well. Lots of historic stuff in this area. There we go. saying, "Oh, does you know where we're going to go from the point of view without relying on the sat nav?" And she described it, and I couldn't even remember until I looked at the printout along the M25 and then down. These days we try and manage without sat nav, exercise our brains, but I must admit the one good thing about Google Maps is the road traffic information, because enough people are relaxed about their car position being used to gather road traffic information. No, I've got an ordinary magnetic compass there as well, and I'm usually moaning at the quality of the mapping not being, for example, ordnance survey quality with footpaths and landmarks, but that's not bad. You can see the golf course we've just gone past. There's a garden centre I quite like, we've been a few times. I've shot quite enough video just in the few miles we've already done, and end up filling up everything, take ages, so I'll just probably now switch to taking a photo trail. That's past a hospital. No.
Exit the roundabout onto Guildford Road, then turn left.
And then we come up.
Turn left towards St Peter's Way, A320, then slight left onto St Peter's Way.
And from now on, it should be all decent
Take the
dual
next left onto
carriageway.
St Peter's Way, A320. Continue on St Peter's Way for half a mile.
So now, you'll relieved to know it's just a photo trail. As you noticed,
Exit the roundabout onto the slip road.
that there's a queue down here. And I've noticed that it shows there is one on the Google mapping based on traffic information. But you can see it's moving,
Keep right at the fork.
so it may not be too bad. According to that, we should be arriving in about 31 minutes, and that will be about 1:15.
Exit at junction 7, then keep right at the fork. Keep right at the fork.
If I've any complaints, it's that it's a woman's voice all the time.
Continue on M23 south for 15 miles.
It's the first heavy rain shower we've had so far. We saw loads of them down there, but hopefully it won't be too much of it. As expected from the Met Office site, it gets brighter, gets drier, and we're making good progress. Still an ETA of 14:19, 2:15. Oh, we're down about here. Patch of blue sky up there. Again, according to the Met Office site, not only a prediction of rain, but also cloud cover and therefore sunshine. There's an NGS sign.
Yeah.
Oh, up there, is it?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Around here.
Yeah, can't win them all. There we go.
Sharp left onto Church Lane, then your destination will be on the left.
Yeah.
So
Your destination is on the left.
Oh, probably there. The power. Oh, just whatever you think.
seen any
Yeah.
yellow signs yet?
No, I haven't seen any here. So they're further up. Further up, destination on the left, it says.
Yeah, well, I think the postcode was showing where that plough is.
Well, but we have to follow instructions or
Well,
ask.
it's a very, very small
No
village.
problem. No problem at all.
It may,
What do you say, June? You're quite right. You said we don't need this anymore, didn't you?
yeah.
because we're at the right village, close to it. We're just looking for where the NGS signs are. We did see a glimpse of one, so we'll look around. They're north sat nav now. Lovely lady explained that we had to go across the dual carriageway. June got it in her head, and so hopefully we can do that safely. And so here we go. Let's just see how it works out. You're okay there? Right, so up here and turn right, I suppose.
No, over the dual carriageway.
Ah, right, okay, sorry. Oh, a bit of traffic
there's
that
the
way.
sign.
Ah, right, okay, right. Take it carefully then. There's the NGS sign. It says straight up there. Yeah, that's it. Lovely. Pangdean, that's it. Lovely. Well done, June. Private farm. Pangdean Farm. Pangdean, long narrow drive with passing places. Please drive slowly. Well, I reckon you could get up to 60 along here, couldn't you? Lovely. Right, I think we're all set. Smiley, June. Me too. I'll put this on just in case, and we're going to make our way over there. I spoke to Nick, minding the car park, volunteer for the NGS. Absolutely brilliant. He said, come through here, and we'll soon see where we've got to play. Here's the two ladies who are taking money, and I had a word with them before, and this is what I'm offering them.
As if.
Yeah, exactly. No, they know. It was only legal tender.
We did
just
not buy the story.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, I'll take it back then. Thank you very much. I better chase after the wife now.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, bye. I do went way this way somewhere. Oh, there she is. Yeah. So, what we read was there was a connection with the silk industry, wasn't there? Which was
That's the mulberry. Yeah.
that's what?
This is the mulberry.
Oh, the mulberry tree.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, because I was really interested in this. I think it might have been primary school still, where we were growing from eggs, I think, silkworm moths, and mulberry leaves were the only things that they would eat. And we read about that in the write-up. So is that? So that's roses.
Yeah, you can just about see the fruit forming. Yeah.
Oh, that's from this tree up there.
The mulberry.
Yeah. So that's
This,
the rose.
This one.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, that's the mulberry.
Oh, right. So that tree is something else there.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. And there's the mulberries.
Oh, right.
But they become a dark red.
Yeah, so we read about this in the few minutes we had to look up the history of the place. Right, so I want to have a tour around. I'll take a few stills as well. So here's, right June, over to you. So what have we got here?
All of this is the mulberry tree.
Goodness,
About 400 years old.
400 years. Crikey. And the mulberry tree, well, I think I've said it before, but it was for the mulberry leaves to feed to the larva of the silk moth, isn't it? That's a nice little spot. Here's some doggies. I don't know if that's working, but what's your name then?
Molly.
Molly? Hello, Molly. You're a good doggy, aren't you? And who's this
Poppy.
little one? This is Poppy. Hello. And I come over to see the chimney. here we go. Just in case we get cold. Yes, some people mistakenly think that it's cold in the winter here in the UK, England, but in fact even in summer it can be quite cold in the summer. And I must admit, I'm jealous of these chimeneas. They're twice as big as the one we've got in our back. Of course, kiln dried wood, obviously, but yeah, really nice. And of course, in January is when it's really hot in England. It's really nice. Come in to get a bit of shade. Where the tea and cake centre is through there, toilets are through there, and June's got the app running. And we're looking at where we are on Ordnance Survey mapping, which may tell us a bit more about the place. We came, the sat-nav was saying, or Google Maps was saying the destination was there, which is went first. We ended up at the right place, which is down here. But I'd seen that place across the road. And what was it you said you thought it was, Jen?
Could be an equestrian centre.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably what it is. That's just up the road. Opening of the Hunger Pangs on Lady Bung. And we're going into see where we get the coffee and cakes. We should be through here. Yeah, just there. Yeah, just there. Right, just got the go ahead for a panning shot showing the fantastic barn with all the lighting and all the rest of it. Absolutely brilliant. Right, just had a lovely drink and cake. We're just going to check out this place that we didn't know was there. A sort of moo cow. Yes, I've just been milking the cow here. I better catch June up now. Yes, they got a big tree as well, but not up to the standard of ours, is it? Absolutely lovely place, and what a lovely charity. Right, so we're on our way back home, and Muggins is driving. Emailing the track she did around the garden, so we can replay a 3D view. And June is navigating, aided if necessary by Google Maps, set to take us home by the scenic route, or at least we change it so it is the scenic route as we go. That's it, so we're going to the next place on the way back now. Hey, are June. We're swinging past the Raj Vooj to complement the food, and the nearest parking we could get was behind the school. St Michael's School, that's the road I've just walked up, and I'm going to the Raj Vooj just over there. Get my takeaway. Right next to the course hall. Looking after the place properly, Toadie, eh? So here's their route on the spot tracker. Anybody could look at, down and then back by the scenic route. So that's public information if anybody clicks on the contact page. So zooming in on satellite imagery, there's Pycombe Golf Course, there where we went, and here is the route down and then the way back. So the spot tracker of course shows where the car was, because that's where the little box was, and that's rather different to the pendant trackers that track our movements, which were around the garden of the lovely farm that we visited. So zooming in more, that's our journey out to the motorway, back, and coming back we stopped at the filling station. So that's the track off the pendant tracker, pensioner tracker. So park the car and then a few positions as we were walking around the garden. And don't forget, I'm not in the business of selling this sort of stuff. You'll probably find much better ones out there. That was probably £10, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago at least, and I just had to put a SIM card and things in it. Right sort of SIM card, that's about it. We were both wearing trackers, so that position must have been when we were in having our drinks and cake. Yes, very boring stuff, isn't it, Toadie? Trackers and all that stuff. So let's sign off with something we did earlier. Luckily the water squirters are out of repair. Battery's flat, I think, so don't have to worry about those. Garden needs lots of work. I use these videos as a means of advertising for the right sort of help from gardeners or handymen, and there's no lack of work that we need to do in our little garden. So there you are. Won't bother to give you the complete tour, but there's plenty of other videos with that on. Oh yes, telly, chimney, all that sort of stuff. Kiln dried logs, obviously. Right, so that about wraps up this video. So look after yourselves and stay safe.